Kit Kats can read.
Hey guys, my name is Katie and welcome to another video, and today I'm here to talk with you about anxiety, books with anxiety in and depression and social anxiety, and some books that have a little twinge of those sort of themes in. I haven't actually read any of these books. These are just books that people have recommended to me that contain these sort of things that they have read and personally recommended to me. So I suppose this could be a sort of recommendations video, but as I've recently discovered that I have been suffering with anxiety and a little bit of social anxiety as well, I feel like I want to help myself get through this. And I was like, hey guys, recommend me some of these books with anxiety in, and I got quite a load of recommendations, and I do actually own a lot of the books that people recommended, so I just wanted to share with you guys the books that I have that people have recommended. So I guess if you want to read some of these books that you haven't yet read or they're on your shelf, then this might give the urge if you want to learn a bit more about social anxiety and other mental illnesses. But yeah, so let's get started with this. So the first one I'm actually currently reading, it is Finding Audrey by Sophie Kinsella. I'm about 40 pages in this at the moment and I'm actually really enjoying it. I've read I've Got Your Number by Sophie Kinsella, as she is like the queen of chick lit books and it's one of my favourite books. So when I heard that she was bringing out a YA book, I was really excited and I got it straight away. Don't know why, haven't read it yet, but I just had an urge recently to pick it up, as it's about a girl who suffers with severe anxiety and social anxiety, and she wears these shades and it's just about her dealing with it. And I've heard really good things about this book from people over BookTube, so yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. I'm 40 pages in. I just love Sophie Kinsella's writing style and I honestly would recommend it so far. The next book I have here is Since You've Been Gone by Morgan Matson, and I've been told that the main girl character has a little bit of anxiety and something about she's hooked onto her best friend, and when her best friend goes missing or something, it's just sort of real and raw and all that sort of stuff. And I've heard that the main character deals with all of that, so I didn't actually realise that. Now I've bumped this book up on my TBR and I can't wait. This next book I didn't know had anxiety in either, and this is Amy Matthew by Cami McGovern. I believe in America this is called Say What You Will, and it's about two characters, and I think it's the male character who is the one that is the one with the mental illness, and the girl has something else, and I believe this is meant to be like a sort of real raw love story about both of them, and it's like really true and real, and it sounds a lot better than when I first picked it up. So this has also been bumped up my TBR as well. In fact, all these books that I'm going to mention are bumped up my TBR because they all sound really good and they've really been sold to me and I can't wait. So the next book that I have is Am I Normal Yet by Holly Bourne, and I only bought this just a couple of months ago. It was when it was released, and I haven't yet read a book by Holly Bourne, and I believe she's a UK YA author, and I do have Soulmates by her, which is right here, and I've yet to read that one as well, but I got told that this one contains mental illness in it, and this was recommended by quite a few people, so this is quite high up on the mental illness book TBR list. Don't you just hate it when somebody likes to interrupt you when filming? Seriously, this is why I prefer to film when alone. The next book that is on my mental illness TBR list is Solitaire by Alice Osman. This was also recommended by somebody on Twitter, and I've had mixed thoughts and feelings about this book. None too great, none too bad. It's just sort of like a mixed bag really. So I had this for quite a while, but it still would be great for me to read it and see what my input on this book is. So hopefully I do enjoy it when I get around to reading it. So these next books are the ones that I believe may have twinges in, or if they do have them in, I don't know, but they were on a Goodreads list, and it was Aprilus Maximus's Goodreads list of anxiety books and mental illness books. So She didn't really talk too much on these books. I did watch her video. She does have books on anxiety videos, so I will link that in the description box below. So thank you to April for doing that video because she did a very good job of that. And these were on the list that I also own the books too. And I got The Sky Is Everywhere by Yandy Nelson, as well as I'll Give You the Sun by the very same author. And these were two of the books that were on the list, and I've heard really good things about these two books. So to know that there is that element that is in these books, it really actually bumps these up on my TBR a whole lot more. This next book is a Colleen Hoover book, and it's sort of like probably going to be the next Colleen Hoover book that I'm going to read, and that is Confess. And yes, so this is a fairly recent release by this author, and I have enjoyed all of her books so far. They are really good. They are quite raw storylines and quite deep and emotional sort of reads. So yes, I am definitely bumping this up on my TBR and look forward to reading this one. This next book is a Gail Forman book, and it is I Was Here, and I have been told by many people that this is a very emotional book. It's a fairly short read, so it probably won't take me too long to finish, but I got told it's so deep and it gets you really here, and I really need to read more books by this author, and I do have Just One Day and Just One Year by her as well. I do need to read her other books. I really enjoyed If I Stay by this author, and I'm looking forward to giving this one a read, and I also really like the cover design to this book. I think it's really cool. This next book I've heard fantastic things about. I don't think I've heard a bad thing about this book. This is Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe, and this is by Benjamin Alasayans. I'm not entirely sure if that's how you pronounce the surname, but I only purchased this book this year after hearing just so many great things about it, and when I was in London one day, I was in Foyles and I saw it there, and I was like, awesome, that's a sign that I need to get this book. But I've heard that this is just heart-wrenching and really grips you, and it's a tearjerker, and that is beautiful. And so I've honestly bumped this up even higher on my TBR. It was pretty high anyway, but I'm really looking forward to reading this one now. Next book I have is a Sarah Dessen book. I think I've only read one book by Sarah Dessen, but I can't remember which one it was. Either that or I haven't read a book by this author. So I can't remember, it was so long ago. It was like 2 houses ago that I've lived in my life, because I've moved like twice, so I feel like I was a very young teenager maybe. I honestly cannot remember, but this one is called Just Listen by Sarah Dessen, and this one got recommended to me. This was on the list, on April's list as well, so And the final book that I have to share with you is Before I Die by Jenny Downham, and this was also on April's list, and I've had this for such a long time. Literally such a long time. I feel like I've had this on my TBR for a few years now, and that is really bad. So this is probably like the oldest book of the lot that is on my mental illness TBR list, so that's pretty damn bad. I'm going to hold the books now, and hopefully this is going to go well. So these are all the books that I have shared with you today that I own, that I've been recommended, and that are on a list that do contain like mental illness in them, even if it's just like a tiny amount or a believed amount. And I'm honestly really looking forward to reading all of these books. I find it really intriguing, and I do want to like look into it more, and I just have an urge to give these books a read. Some of these I've had for a few years, and so it's great to sort of bump them up on my TBR and to get all these books read. And some of these books are really loved in the booktube community by a lot of people, so it would be great to actually join in with everybody into what everybody's read and to sort of discuss it. But if you've read any of these books and would recommend any of them the most for me to read, like the next book to read after the Sophie Kinsella book, then please do mention it. Or if there's any other books that do contain anxiety, social anxiety, depression, any of those sort of mental illness themes, then please do let me know down below, and I will add it to my wish list if it isn't already in my wish list. Or I've also forgot to mention that I have purchased Every Last Word by Tamara Ironstone, which I got told contains a bit of OCD in it and all that jazz in it, and it sounds really good. I've had fantastic things about that book so far, and it literally got sold to me, and I was like, I'm gonna get that book as a present for me, making it through Black Friday, and also payday was Black Friday, and also I just needed some book therapy, I have to be honest. So these are all the books, and thank you very much for watching. Keep smiling, keep reading, and be happy. My name is Katie, and I'll see all of you wonderful people in my next video. Bye!